All right, gonna let some people hop on there and see what's going on. Tonight, I want to go live to talk about, just got the brand new um, Z Fold 6. I've got the OnePlus Open, I've had the Pixel Fold. I just want to do a go live talk about kind of my unboxing experience, the phone so far. I've had it about, I got it roughly about 4 or 5 hours now. I've had the phone, and just going to kind of give you my first initial thoughts on it, talk about it, tell you what I think of it, and yeah, but I'm going to share this over to Twitter real quick so that people know that I'm live. So if you're watching, if you see this, if it's popping up, let people know, hey, Roddy's live. So let me share this out real quick so that maybe we can get some folks on. Do it there. And that should be good enough, right? All right, so maybe some people will jump on. I'm just going to jump right into this and kind of talk to you guys a little bit about the differences here, what I've got from what I'm kind of gathering out of the two, what I think about each one, et cetera, et cetera. So initially off the bat, I am not a fan of the price of the Z Fold 6. Um, I don't think that there's enough upgrades here for someone to come from a Z Fold 5 over to this. I don't think. Um, I do really, really love this design. I love it so much more than the past folds. I have always not been bothered by the skinny, smaller form factor of the outside. I love to text with one hand, and this is just a great screen for that. It's easy to pocket. It slips down in your pocket so easily, in and out. If you're carrying two phones like I typically do, let me grab my iPhone. So in your pocket, if you have these two side by side like this, they fit into a pocket. Or if you're carrying both of them like this, it's just easier to reach in and slip that out of your pocket. It to me, it has a good feel, like how it sits in your hand. It's not ultra wide. This felt like a normal phone. The Open did, which was nice. I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, this is very good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's not very good. This is just a little bit more secure, a little bit easier to talk on when you're taking pictures. It's just cradled more in your hand than a normal slab phone would be. So I've never had a problem with it. I know a lot of people have had a problem with it as far as like, you know, it's so small to text with two hands and things are so tiny or whatnot, but I've never had an issue with it. I've had the Fold 3 and the Fold 4. I skipped the 5 and now we got this. Um, but just going off of like specs and what you get out of the 5 versus this, I mean, ultimately the big thing that you're getting here is the boxier design, which I absolutely love. I think that this boxy design is fantastic. Oh, hey, there's some people. Hi, guys. I'll text you back. Give me a second. Um, hello, Ranger, and I don't know how to say those other names. Empire One, Anna Ramirez. Hi, 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 hi. Thanks, guys, for jumping on. Appreciate it. We're talking about, or I'm talking about the brand new Z Fold 6. I just got it, just picked it up, just kind of comparing it to the OnePlus Open, and I've also got the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I'm recording this on the S24 Ultra. But again, going back to what I was talking about with the price, with the design, all that kind of stuff, none of it is groundbreaking when it comes to this from the 5. It's got a lot to offer. It's really nice, but man, Samsung is really killing us with a price bump without giving us a lot of things that I feel like should be here. And I feel like that's foldables in general. And so I'm kind of going to speak my mind on that. I always feel like foldables are very expensive. I don't know how you guys feel. Put it in the comments over there. What do you think about prices of foldables? I feel like that they're a lot of money for not quite top tier specs. I was disappointed that the OnePlus Open had so much goodness about it, but didn't come with wireless charging, something that's been around for a long, long time. I feel like they could have easily given us that. I mean, you've got this massive camera bump. I understand you want it to be thinner, but it seems like if that's what they were doing was weight savings or size or whatever, I mean, you could easily add wireless charging in here to match this big camera. That's just me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have a lot of wireless chargers, so it did bother me to I had to plug it in everywhere I went. My office is full of them. I've got multiple desks here. My house, at night when I go to bed, I've got wireless chargers that just kind of, I sit the phone so I can see them or whatnot. So it was kind of a nuisance to not have that. And it's an older technology. It's not a technology that's brand new. And so I just really thought that was a kind of a letdown. Here you have wireless charging and you've got wired charging, but they're both pretty slow. And again, it's just like why Samsung doesn't give us a little bit faster charging, I have no idea. On top of that, OnePlus kind of gave you a ton of stuff in the box with the Open. You got the case, you got a fast wireless charging, so you had the larger powered brick there. You got a really nice this cable. It was really nice that it was kind of real thick and red, and it's really nice. You got this nice faux leather case with it, SIM ejector tool, all the kind of stuff. Here, you get nothing with the Z Fold 6. I got a very cheap feeling power cord, and I got a SIM ejector tool and the paperwork, and that's it. And to me, I'm almost kind of taken back because everyone's all about saving the planet. Samsung gives you this big box. To me, they could just fold the phone in half and give you half the box since they're not putting anything else in there, and call it a day. The case that I have on it here came with the S Pen, which is very nice because you don't have a place to store the S Pen if you want an S Pen for this device. So this is a nice case. It feels really good. It's similar to the one that came with the OnePlus. It feels like it's part of the phone, and so it doesn't feel like it's anything else. But the problem with this case is regular retail on this case was $75. So you're talking about a phone that, if you get the base storage model, is $1,800. Then if you want this case and the S Pen to look really nice, you have to pay another $75 on top of that. So that's just really strange. I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Why Samsung couldn't give you at least some kind of case, why we can't figure out how to make, if it's going to have S Pen support, why can it not have S Pen holsters, or I mean, just put all this in the box. For $1,800, I feel like they could put all this in the box for you, and it would have been a lot nicer package to say, hey, $1,800, but you at least get a case and an S Pen. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much here. So value-wise, you also, a few things that you're missing out on the Fold 6 versus the Open. Fast wireless charging, fast wired charging, but no wireless charging. Slow wired charging, but wireless charging. S Pen support, no S Pen support. But you got 16 gigabytes of RAM here versus 12. And then you got the base model, which there was only one model, but you got 512 gigabytes of storage. Here, Samsung's $1,800 phone comes with 256 gigs, unless you get it on pre-order, where they say they give you a free storage upgrade to get 512 for the same price you would get 256. And that's kind of the deal with Samsung, is you kind of have to take them up on their their trade-in stuff and their incentives and all that kind of stuff. You just really, really have to make sure that they are there when you get them at the beginning, when they launch, or you end up paying a lot of money for a little bit of a lesser phone. But I can tell you that there's a lot here to be really impressed by. One, on foldables, this is probably one of the thinnest hinges I've seen out on a foldable. It's pretty impressive. It's definitely more sunk in, and it feels a lot better than the one that's on the OnePlus Open. Even though this barely sticks out, you probably can't even really see that on camera. It is kind of still sticking out. You can kind of tell it's a foldable. Outside of the case, you can see it a lot more, obviously, but even as thin as that is, this has become even thinner. It's almost non-existent. I mean, there's maybe 1.5 millimeters of hinge there, but they've made it kind of flat. It's matte, so it's not glossy. It just feels a lot more premium. And that's the whole phone in general. This is the I'm not taking the case off, but this is the silver color that they had, silver shadow is what they call it. I really like that kind of grayer color that they had on the S24 Ultra, so I thought this was good. But this feels so nice. I mean, it feels more premium than this. This feels kind of cheaper, this feels like cheap aluminum. This is supposed to be like their Armor aluminum plus whatever, but it feels good. This feels almost like the titanium that's on the S24 Ultra. So it just to me has a lot more premium feel. Same can be said with when you open this, the way that the hinge feels when you open it, it feels really solid. It does, a lot of people say that it doesn't have that snap into place like the OnePlus Open did, but it does, in my opinion. It gets to right at the end, right there, and it does have a little bit of a pull, so it kind of pulls it completely open. But I want to show you the front of this here, okay? I don't know how this is showing up on screen, but the crease, everyone says that this crease on this phone is just not any different than last year. So this is me running my finger across on the crease, and that's about how much of it I can feel. I don't even know if you can see my finger moving, but it's very little. And then you do have certain angles where you can see it, but I mean, you have to get really, really extreme to see it. Even at extreme angles, it's no worse than the one that's on the Open. It's no worse than on this screen here. I can just barely feel this right there. And the way that the hinge is on the Open makes it a lot harder, I think, to see, because just the hinge design is not super hard, but you can see it just ever so slightly. It is a little bit more broad. It's not so, the one on the Fold is real tight. So this one seems like it's kind of, the hinge mechanism kind of spreads out, so it doesn't look or feel like it's as noticeable. But really and truthfully, whenever I'm touching both of them, they feel about the same. If you don't have the screen turned on, they look about as significant. What I can tell you though is when you do open the phones, that's where I really start noticing more of that premium design on the Samsung front than on the OnePlus. So the OnePlus definitely has large bezels around the outside. And on top of that, not only do you have the larger bezels, but even that hinge mechanism is a little bit more substantial between the two. I'll try to hold this up so you can see it. So you have this little bump right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's like a little bump here on the OnePlus. And you can kind of see that. To me, that is, like, if you're looking dead on like this, to me that is that just feels like a first gen design. On top of that, you look at the plastic railing that goes around of the bezels and everything. It is symmetrical, but again, just I don't know, it's just the appearance of the plastic looks like it's not as high quality, it's not as rounded, it doesn't have that kind of sleeker bezel. This almost looks like metal. Just the texture of it, versus this definitely looks like plastic. They just have a different look to them. This one feels better. It feels a little denser. It feels a little bit more substantial. This phone has that kind of more rock solid feel, versus this one. Just when you start touching and tapping the materials, they have different sounds, which to me kind of significantly makes a difference with when you're thinking about build quality and what kind of phone you got. I can tell you, I definitely think that the screen is brighter on this device than it is on the OnePlus. It seems a little bit clearer. Some other things that I've really noticed: haptics. Haptics on this, when I'm texting and typing and entering stuff, feel better than the S24 Ultra. I'm really impressed with that. I'm really impressed with like how good the buttons seem to click, how good the fingerprint scanner is, how good this thing opens and closes, how quickly it can transition from the outer display to the inner display. Just overall, just the speed, the smoothness. It's very smooth. We don't typically see that out of Samsung phones. Just the animations of how it runs back and forth between scrolling, different things like that. All of this just seems extremely a cut above. It's not a mid-grade phone. It's not just a increment upgrade. Yeah, here you go. You get a few little things. There's a lot to love here. Definitely a lot lighter than most of the Samsung phones that I've had in the past when it comes to foldables. I would still say that the OnePlus, hold on, about the same. Maybe the OnePlus even actually feels, yeah, the OnePlus definitely feels a little bit heavier. Not much, but definitely feels more substantial here. This is, of course, I mean, it's almost spot on with the weight of the S24 Ultra, which is a big phone, but you're thinking about this phone being something that folds, has a hinge mechanism, opens up to this wider profile, et cetera, basically two screens. You expect it to be a little bit weightier. Yeah. Pretty much almost the exact same as the iPhone 15 Pro Max too. So if you're used to carrying a larger scale phone, iPhone 15 Pro Max, any kind of Pro Max iPhone or any Ultra Samsung phone, this kind of has that same weight, except for it's a lot more palm friendly, holding it in your hand, which is also going to be the same for like if you're taking pictures and you're holding this. It's really nice. Whoa, you guys have a lot of comments. Let's see what's saying here. When are you taking your socks off? Never. What is your shoe size? You don't need to know that. What is your opinion about Russia? Any tech questions in here? Oh, you're welcome for me doing live. Thanks for being here. No, we're not doing dabs. Good evening, UFO 777. What phone is in your hand? Well, this is the OnePlus Open. This is the Galaxy Z Fold 6. And this is the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I'm not sure when you asked that question. Nope, I don't smoke weed, Larry. Which Pixel phone are you interested in out of the 3 new ones that are coming out? So that's a great question. So I have a little bit of insider info about what should be coming to the Pixel Fold, or excuse me, what's coming to the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Mouthful. I've seen some leaks and rumors. Some of them I know have also been leaked to me and told me, and some of that is true. Some of the stuff I've saw is not what I was told that the phone would get. So I think some of the specs that have been leaked on the Pixel 9, 9 Pro, and 9 Pro XL, I think some of those specs are just for the Pixel 9 Pro and Pro XL, or Pro and the regular Pixel 9, not the XL. So I'm excited about the XL. It's supposed to be, of course, a bigger phone that's better, and that is chipset, the whole 9 yards. But there's some other things, and even the dummy units are not really doing the camera bump justice. So don't see those dummy units and see those in hand people using them and this, that, and the other, and think that's the final product. I don't think it is. If it is, then something changed or something happened. So just know that some of those things are dummy units, and the actual physical design of the phone may be different than what we have seen leaked. You heard it here first. So Pixel 9 XL will be the one that I'm going to try to pick up. Pixel 9 Pro XL is the one that I'm going to try to pick up. I would love to get the new Pixel Fold 2 Pro, I think is what they're going to call it. But I know it's going to be very expensive, and Pixel usually doesn't have good trade-in. But if they do have good trade-ins, I may trade a phone in and try to get one of those if I can afford it. It's all about affordability, because foldables are just way too expensive. They should be flagship level, like iPhone 15 Pro Max, S24 Ultra prices, but I don't think they should be more than that. They're just not giving us enough pro level features to justify their price. Out of the two, so let's just talk about that. That's a great question. Out of these two, OnePlus Open and the Z Fold 6, someone asked, which of these two is better out of the two phones? Which one's better? Out of the box, honestly, it really depends on what you want. I don't think that there's a better here. I just think that there's preference. What do you want? So I can tell you that I prefer OnePlus cameras. I prefer the camera on the OnePlus 12 to the camera on the OnePlus Open. However, between these two, just shooting around, I haven't done a ton of pictures and videos and stuff, but just initially, just picking it up, taking some pictures, I like the processing and the cameras on the OnePlus Open better. So if you're a camera person and cameras are top of your list, number one, you want to know which one's better for the cameras, I would probably lean more towards the OnePlus Open. Do I think the Z Fold 6 takes very good pictures? Yes, absolutely. So far, I've been pretty happy with it, and it's doing a pretty good job. Samsung has come a long way from the complaints that I've had in the past of how good their processing is. It's a lot better. It's really good. If you're wanting the best deal, the most affordable, the most RAM, etc., I still think that the OnePlus is the better deal here. However, if you're wanting the phone, in my opinion, that feels faster, that feels more premium, that has the longevity to, if you're going to spend $1,800 and you're going to keep it a while, I think that goes to Samsung. I think you get more features here. I personally prefer this design and this style over the larger one. And now that I'm starting to pick them up side by side, I'm starting to be like, yeah, this is a lot easier to hold. It is definitely lighter. There's a lot here that I just like about Samsung. I have just become used to One UI. I've become used to a lot of their features and stuff. I've learned how to live with their cameras. I like having an S Pen. I love it on the S24 Ultra or on all my Ultra phones. I've got it over here on my Tab S9 Ultra, and so I'm glad to have it here. I've just gotten used to it in the world of business that I live. But yeah, there's just, I don't know, between the things that I use Good Lock for and how I use that setup, I've just gotten used to that, and I just know how to navigate between the two. I wish that Samsung would just bake all the features of Good Lock into the phone and just get rid of the apps. Because I think pretty much everybody's probably downloading it now, pretty much. But yeah, just the look, the fit, the feel, the finish, the boxy design, um, just kind of feeling like at home here. I do really like having the physical fingerprint reader over having the on screen or the you know in under display fingerprint reader. OnePlus doesn't have optical fingerprint reader. Um, I think for foldables, even though you get like a full size screen with the OnePlus Open, um, it just takes up a little bit of screen real estate, really and truthfully. Um, and so for me, I like having the physical reader. It just gives me a lot more. I mean, yeah, it's small on the outside, so you gotta take what you can get, right? But yeah, I just feel like I that it's hard to reach down and turn and do that versus just hitting that on the side. But um, yeah, I think for me, like the screens, the build quality, the familiarity, um, and this one just seems like it's performing better. I mean, it shouldn't, but it feels like it is, and that's a big thing for me. So personally, if I had to choose which one was better, I think that probably, well, the OnePlus is going to give you better, more for your money. The OnePlus is going to give you more internal or better internal specs, better camera specs. But I think that they probably, if I put them side by side, I would assume they're going to go back and forth. Some things are going to be better, some things are going to be worse. Um, so, and we'll just have to see. That's going to be part of it. I would say I'm really comfortable with the OnePlus. I've gotten really comfortable with it, learned to use it a lot, used to it. Um, but I think I'm going to really like the weight of this, of the Z Fold 6. But yeah, I can tell you like haptics are definitely better. Screens are better. The hinge feels better. The flex mode stuff, Samsung's better there. Um, I think Samsung has the best foldable um, operating system, the way that their phones adjust to folding back and forth and in apps and that sort of thing. I feel like it does that better. Um, so yeah, that's for me. That's yeah, it's a big win over here for Samsung, and it has been for the last few years. This still is a great phone. It was definitely one of the best foldables to ever come out. There's a lot I could go on about that I love here. Like I said, I love their camera processing here. I love having the physical slider for your ringtones and alerts and stuff like that. You can mute them, you can vibrate, you can have sound. I really like this Oxygen OS, Color OS look about it. I like that they give you the opportunity. You can change the shape of your icons. You can change the transparency of the background of your folders. You can change the shape of your folder. You can change how your folders interact. It gives you a lot to do here that's baked in versus having to go through Good Lock to do it because I'm swiping down, going to settings and going, oh, I got to go to Good Lock and do it. Um, plus they give you everything in the box. I didn't have to buy a case. I didn't have to buy a bigger charger. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. But then again, I turn around and go, oh, it'd be so nice just to set this on my wireless charger when I get home instead of having to fumble around and plug it in. And same thing when I wake up in the morning, I got to roll over out of bed, fumble around and unplug it so that I can use it. So yeah, they kind of go back and forth, but I think for me, aesthetics is number one on my list. I like really nice looking things. I feel like the Z Fold 6 gives you that. I feel like that this is a premium, more premium product. Um, I feel like that it's fast, it's efficient, it's going to kind of hold its value. Um, yeah, they just need better cameras and better charging. I would say that's the only thing you lack here. I would say they could probably go 1 more millimeter wider. I wouldn't go much more, but I would go probably 1 more millimeter wider here. And if they can widen it a little more and make it a little thinner to save some weight. But yeah, if you lay these two phones on top of each other, I'll kind of show you here. So that is lined up. You see that? Can you guys see? Get that a little closer. Can you even see how much of a difference there is there? Right there. This much. That's like a millimeter. So yeah, they could go 1 more millimeter, I think, wider, and I think they'd be at their sweet spot. And I think that's what they're trying to figure out. Do we go just a little bit more? They're slowly inching their way to that point. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's what they should do. I think that's how they should go about it. I don't think they should force it. I think they should gradually get there. For me, like I said, I've always said that the fold needed to be folded, this size, needed to be the same aspect ratio as the Sony Xperia phones. The Mark IV, Mark V, whatever. That shape, which is kind of that narrow squared, that shape, that size on the outer display. And I think it would be perfect. I think that would be the perfect form factor. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me. Is that all the comments? I talked to everybody. So yeah, thanks for all that showed up. For the rest of you that dipped out and asked weird things. As someone said, you need Jesus. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good evening. See you next time.